Praise the Lord and welcome again. Welcome to our special edition of this series of daily broadcasts, which we tagged the State of the Union between Jesus and his bride, the church. Now, I said it's a special edition. I'd like to call it Countdown to Christmas. Countdown to Christmas. Starting today, it's exactly 1 week. 1 week to Christmas. And so we begin a special series, Countdown to Christmas. And we are still about the word of the Lord saying, tell my people to return to me. Now, as we probably already know, and then if you are joining for the first time, here is how we started or came about this series of broadcasts, series of daily broadcasts. And we have tried to be consistent about the time of the broadcast, 2 p.m. West African time. But as we know, one thing or the other, at one time or the other, has managed to shift us either an hour or two later than that time, or upon occasion, an hour even before. And today is one of those days. Special countdown edition to Christmas. Now, this is the story of how it started. On Christmas Day last year, 2021, as has been my manner for quite a number of years, on Christmas Day, December 25th, whenever I wake up, sometimes that's just after 12 midnight, sometimes it's a little later, but whenever I wake up into the day of December 25th, every year, I go to the Lord and I say to him, happy birthday. Now, why do I do that? Because when he was here, he was a man. When he was here, he had to be born into this place. So he was born on a certain day. Whether or not we can trace it back into antiquity to be December 25th or not, as far as I'm concerned, is really irrelevant. The point is that he was born. Now, some people say December 25th is a pagan festival. Maybe. I'm not interested. I am more interested in the celebration of the birth of my Lord. That's one. Two, my relationship with him is such as it is with any other regular human being. I relate with him as a man speaks with his friend. I'm talking about myself. Now, concerning Moses, he said, if there be a prophet in the land, I speak with him man to man. Or I speak with him in dreams and visions. He said, but with my servant Moses, I speak with him face to face as a man with his friend. Now, when Jesus was here, he didn't act as God, God. He related with men as a man. So I know him as a person. I know him as somebody who has feelings, emotions. He can be unhappy and he can laugh. I've experienced both ends of the spectrum of possibility of human emotions. I've seen him with a tight face. I've seen him smiling. I've heard him talk. I've seen him in the revelations of the Holy Spirit. I know him. Now, that's not a boast. That's just an explanation of why I say happy birthday to him. Just as any other human being might say happy birthday to me on the appropriate day. So when I say countdown to Christmas, I'm not referring to the festival which we understand as Christmas. I am referring to the beginning of this series of broadcasts, because it started on a certain Christmas day almost exactly 1 year ago now. So I had gone to him that morning and I said, Lord, happy birthday. Now, in times past, he would say something or the other. Sometimes he would just indicate, okay, thank you, I've heard. Just like any other human being would have done. Now, but sometimes he would have already, sometimes at the beginning of December, I go to him and I said, Lord, what do you want for your birthday? As if I am the father figure. I said, Lord, what would you like to have for your birthday? I'm not talking about buying him a wristwatch or buying him a car or buying him a house. I'm talking about how would you like your birthday celebrated? Sometimes he tells me, prepare 100 meals every day to be distributed among the poor. Sometimes he says, get something to distribute to the less privileged. That type of thing. So sometimes he tells me, all right, do this. So on Christmas Day last year, I went to him and I said, happy birthday, Lord. And there was no response. So I said, okay, maybe your guy is busy talking to somebody else. Maybe he never get my time yet. So I repeated it. Still no answer. And then I said it a third time. Lord, happy birthday. And still no answer. Now I was worried. So I said, Lord, here you go again. I'm talking to you and you won't respond. What have I done something wrong? And then he let me see his face. Call that a vision or a trance, whatever you like. But he let me see what I was to understand as his face. I saw what you might want to call a weather-beaten face. Brownish, weather-beaten, stern, serious, far away look on his face. I say weather-beaten, that is like the face of a carpenter. I don't say that because he was a carpenter when he was here. Just that he had this intense look on his face. Intense, far away look on his face. I said, Lord, you seem lost in thought. Not an abnormality to say lost in thought. He can't be lost. But I said, Lord, you seem lost in thought. It seems like you are distracted about something. What's on your mind? And then he says to me, I'm not happy. And I said, Lord, what can possibly be the problem now? Now I've had occasion to have heard or experienced that from him many times in the past. I said, Lord, what's the problem? And he said, the people for whom I died behave as if I never went to the cross. They treat me like I'm irrelevant, like I didn't die for them. So I said, Lord, what can I do to assuage this your feeling? Then I realized using the word assuage in the direction of the feeling of God, it got to be somehow. So I stepped down the word assuage and I said, Lord, how can I help? What can I do about this? And then he said to me, go and tell my people to return to me, starting now. Go and tell my people to return to me, starting now. Now you would have thought, why is he saying starting now? Do I have the wherewithal? Do I have the means to start now on Christmas Day? Now, in fairness to the Lord, for several weeks, perhaps up to 2 months before that day, he had been talking to me about something I was going to do for him by way of, let's call it television, electronic media, that I was going to do something of a broadcast for him. Now, about a month before, sometime in November, some fellow came to my house, to my home, and says to me, I know him to be a professional photographer, besides being a graphic artist. And he says to me, I shut down my studio and I was going to sell it. He mentioned the name of some platform, something like eBay. He said he was going to sell it on that platform and make some millions for himself. He said, but the Lord said to him to pack everything and deliver them to me, that I have something to do for him. Now, when that fellow said that, I sat bolt upright in my head. Why? The Lord had already started to talk to me about this series of broadcasts. He had said, you are going to do something for me. When the time comes, I will tell you what you are going to preach. Now, I thought that, as has been the case, he doesn't give me the content of what I'm going to preach beforehand. Sometimes 5 minutes to when I'll start to preach, he gives it to me. Sometimes I'm in the car going to the place where I'm going to preach, and he starts to talk to me in the car. I never get it 3 days beforehand or something. No. I'm going to preach on Sunday during church and I get the message on Friday. Never. More like Sunday morning, 6 a.m. and I'm going to preach at 9. Something like that. Or I'm in the car and on the way there, especially when I have several speaking engagements in one day, so he gives the next one to me while I'm in the car going to that place. But in this case, he had been talking to me about it, and then he says, I'll tell you what you will talk about when the time comes. So at the time this fellow brought the studio equipment to me, I didn't even know the content of what I was going to be talking about. But the fact that he came was confirmation to me that I was going to do what you are watching now. So he delivered these things, all the lighting systems, a backdrop, and things like that. And then on Christmas Day, I said, happy birthday, Lord. And he said, I'm not happy. Go and tell my people to return to me, starting now. This is the broadcast I spoke to you about. The content is tell my people to return to me. It's still very clear in my head, just like yesterday. In a couple of days, I will be returning to tell him happy birthday. And I look forward to hearing what he might have to say. Somewhere at the back of my mind, I fear about my report card. Will it be, thank you, my faithful servant? Or what? No, but again, that's really irrelevant. He says, do it. I'm doing it as best as I know. It could be better. I'm aware of that. We could reach more people. I'm aware of that. But obey first. I'm obeying first. And we have done this 1 year. He says, tell my people to return to me. The people for whom I died don't seem to appreciate it. They treat me like I don't exist. They treat me like I never went to the cross. Now, the issue is, who are the people in reference? Go and tell my people to return to me. Who are his people? It's the church. But that's not the only people he died for. He died for the entire human race. So if there are 8 billion people on earth today, he died for all 8 billion people, not just the Christians. But the Christians are those who have come to believe it and to act on the invitation to receive Jesus for what he did on the cross. So necessarily, we refer to these ones as his people, because they are the ones who have come to him. Now the others have either not heard about it and so are completely ignorant of it, or they are still stubborn about it, and so for this they are referred to as the children of disobedience. He died for them. He shed his blood for them. He wiped out their sin. But until they come to him to accept the fact, they cannot reap the benefits of what he did on the cross. So they treat him like he never went there. But he said, go and tell my people. And because of that, I have restricted myself to the church. I have restricted myself to the church. Because if you look in the scriptures, every time God says my people, he's either referring to Israel or he's referring to the church. Outside of that, he refers to them as Gentiles. Never his people, just Gentiles. Or by the country of their birth, by their name, Amorites, Moabites, and things like Gigabites, Hivites, Nanovites. You understand what I mean? No Nanovites, that's my intention, by the way. So the point is, he says, tell my people to return to me. What does that mean? My people return to me. By implication, his people have walked away, have turned away, or have become distracted. They've lost the focus, and they have put their attention on something else. So in the last, we have 365 days, right? So 365 minus 7. 358. In the last 357 days, we have looked at one area or the other, one dimension or the other, one possibility or the other of how we may have walked away from him, how we may have become guilty of what he is complaining about, how we may have turned from him, how we may have forsaken him, how we may have forgotten him and turned to something else. And the hope in all of this has been that somehow, at some point, we would mention your own. Now, hopefully, no one person will be guilty of all 350 different possibilities. But even if it is just one, it's bad enough. Because from that one, the enemy can gain a foothold and spread his tentacles to all over other areas of your life or of your Christian experience. So this is the beginning, like I said, of our Christmas special. From now to Christmas Day, we will be looking at a rehash of what we have done in the past 1 year. Two things majorly. One, the various possibilities of how we may have walked or turned from him. And then two, the various possible reasons why God is saying that his people should return. So if we don't, what happens? One of the things about this second one, he may be asking us to return because he knows that some bad news is coming. And he doesn't want us to be involved in it. So he sends a messenger like me to invite his people back home. There is a judgment already decreed on the children of disobedience. So if we begin to walk under the same unction, under the same inspiration as the children of disobedience, then whatever God means by the judgment that has been decreed upon the children of disobedience, the wrath of God which has been revealed upon the children, whatever that means, we may just be affected by it because we are not at home. But I'm going to stop here today. Starting tomorrow, we begin to look at a summary of all the different possibilities which we have looked at in the last 1 year. So if you are joining us for the first time, this is a very good point to be joining, because in the next 7 days, you will get what you didn't get in the last 357 days. You'll get a summary of it in the next 7 days. We will be looking at return to God in his righteousness. We will be looking at things like return to God in his presence. We will be looking at returning to God in his person, returning to God in his love, returning to God in his ways, in his priorities, in his patterns. Because some of these we took at different stages. Part 1, part 2, part 3, sometimes even part 4. And then we have looked at returning to God in his written word, the scripture. But join us again, starting tomorrow, at the usually advertised time, 2 p.m. West African time. That's 8 p.m. on the East Coast, East. And we begin our Christmas special, countdown to the beginning of his second year. That is, of course, if the Lord permits. But the word still stands. Tell my people to return to me. I fear not just that he is not happy, but that